Welcome, everybody, to the Bituation Room. I am your host, Francesca Fiorentini. Beside me is comedian, writer, actor from Detroit, Michigan, Paul Elia. Welcome.
Yo, thanks for having me.
Paul, as we were waiting to go live, we were talking about how part of your cred is also saying that you're Iraqi-Assyrian.
Yes.
And I was like, what is Assyrian?
Yeah.
Are you serious right now? I don't know.
Yeah, that joke
bad.
has been that joke is here and the Bituation Room being serious.
Being very serious and Assyrian. Yeah.
Am I the first Assyrian you've met?
You're the first Assyrian on the show. I've probably met many Assyrians.
Yeah.
Maybe there's been another Assyrian in the show. I don't know.
Dang.
But they didn't like lead with it.
Yeah. I've been leading with my identity lately.
That's because, dude, please. That's my whole thing. I'm ethnically ambiguous. You know?
Oh, wow.
Kill me. Oh, my God.
Hire me, Disney.
Hire me, Disney. Trust me, I don't want to join a union. I don't even want to get paid.
They're like, you're hired.
Disney notoriously pays horribly. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you're here, do all the things. Palm the keyboard, like and share the stream. Tell people what you're watching on a Tuesday, June 23rd. Pride is ending. So, get your last orgies in, break the hot pants out, kiss a stranger, come out to your family, fight fascists, all the things that you do in Pride.
Yeah. Fighting fascism is you can do it actually any month, not just during Pride.
Yes.
You could do it during Latino History Month, Assyrian History Month. We don't have a month.
No, but Matthew of Nivnia says Assyrians are in the chat. So
whoa, Matthew of Nineveh? That's crazy. Nineveh, that was the capital of Assyria.
Okay, there we go. I think Matthew's been waiting. This is Matthew's time.
Wow, Matthew. Shalom Elochen. Shalom Elochen is Surith, and that means peace be with you.
Now, is this the Jesus language? Because we don't do the Jesus language in the Bituation Room.
Really? Why?
It's just too many bad things, happened. Like good story, good beginning of the Jesus story, bad ending, and I just don't want to bring like a curse on the...
Oh, dang. Well, I'll say a few things. It is actually the language that Jesus spoke Aramaic. So Surith is a dialect of Aramaic.
I thought it was Hebrew. I'm pretty sure Bibi Netanyahu told me that Jesus spoke Hebrew. So
yeah, Bibi Netanyahu is a liar about
what?
Yeah, believe it or not.
About language too?
Do you remember that video of him trying to convince the Pope?
Yeah.
Spoke, and the Pope's like, Aramaic.
No, that is... exactly. That is exactly where I know this from, is that fucking Netanyahu tried to get one on not Pope Leo, but the former Pope, right?
Yeah.
Francis. While
he was old.
And he was calling, remember the one lone church in Gaza, like every single week, making sure they were okay. R.I.P. Pope Francis, once again. We are going to talk a little bit about Pope Francis's arch nemesis, J.D. Vance, in a moment. We are also going to talk about, there's a lot of important things. There was like a war and a ceasefire, obviously, that is disrespected. But we have more important things to talk about, which is algae.
Yes.
In the reflecting pool of the Lincoln Memorial, which has been very politicized, and we'll talk about how. We're also going to talk about how Polymarket is fake. All of it has been fake. It's been fake. Don't waste your money. And now there's a new Wall Street Journal investigation to prove that. And then we will have Professor Richard Wolff, Marxist economist, radio host, and author, and co-founder of Democracy at Work, is going to be here to answer all of your questions about inflation, the other words that are economic words.
Yeah, man, I do not know a lot of economic words.
Unemployment.
I know that.
Price gouging.
That's when prices are a lot.
Yeah, and the companies get away with it. We're going to talk about all the things. So put in if you have a question too, I got a bunch of questions lined up. Paul clearly has questions like, what is the economy? And Paul, you and I, we met because we were on like the same show together. I think shortly after I had like maybe a year after I gave birth.
Yeah.
And the genocide in Gaza had started.
Okay.
And I remember you were one of the few comics who actually brought up Palestine during your set, I think. And at some point, and I was like, I see you.
Yeah.
You brought up being Middle Eastern, and it was just like, at a time when I can imagine it's very difficult. I mean, you are Iraqi after all.
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of people are telling me, especially like commercially, they're like, hey man, don't talk about these things. Don't pick a side. Yeah, oh yeah. I've had people say like, even in my own community, they're like, hey man, don't talk about Palestine. Or why do you talk about being Assyrian? Why do you say these things? Why can't you just say I'm Middle Eastern?
Yeah.
Just keep it vague. And I'm just like, why is everyone trying to take my identity, my thoughts, and my heart away from me? And
I want to use it for a seriously joke.
Yes, for a seriously joke, we need to say what is in a serious heart.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that it's always like, I know you do a show with Bassem Youssef, and I remember it was always, it's always like your community. I think it's like a double-edged sword. Like you're proud of your community, you're happy, in terms of wanting to explain or say that that's who you are, but then also your community is always like, talk more about Palestine, talk less about Palestine, talk about this, talk about that, and so you kind of also feel a lot of responsibility for like, being the one out there carrying the torch and stuff. So it's a burden sometimes too.
Yeah, totally. Like as an example, you're not Palestinian, but yet you feel like if there's injustice happening, you want to say something.
Yeah.
Most people, they only care about things that affect them directly.
Yeah.
They're like, if it doesn't affect me, if it's not part of my tribe, if it's not something that my family will care about or something I have some sort of attachment to, that's not for me.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's very inhumane. So,
well, it's like me. Like I don't care about issues unless they affect specifically the Chinese/Italian community.
Oh man.
Which is me. And so as the audience knows, they're like, God, I'm so sick of hearing about the one half Italian Chinese person in, Iowa that had a sort of a lightweight racism done against them, and yeah, that's all we talk about on this show is anything. If you've transgressed against the Asian community, I will be there discussing it.
You know what I will say? I think the first or the second time I saw you do stand-up when you did Ida Rodriguez's show.
Yeah.
Man, I thought you were such a gangster for calling out how long they were running the light. And I thought that was so funny. And I was like, man, you're so daring. And I really appreciated that if I never told you. Because you just stuck with it too.
Yeah, well, it was fun. It was, you can't run the light. We were on a show with all actors who were doing stand-up for the first time. And they were making our craft look cheap, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were kind of crushing it. And I was like...
Yeah, but they're crushing in a way that it's like when like a wrestler will say something and then the crowd will go crazy and people consider that like, oh man, how brave is that person? Like he just said, I'm just going to choke slam the Undertaker.
Exactly. This is why I got to be on a show is because you get, if you're an actor, you can get away with fucking anything, man.
You really can. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, well, actually, if you have people who just love you and they revere you, you can, because I've seen some
look at Chappelle.
I mean, look, I'll tell you this. Chappelle also, are you a fan of Chappelle?
Old Chappelle,
kind of like you missed the old Kanye?
Old Kanye, old Chappelle. That was, for me as an anti-war activist in the year 2003-5, Chappelle's show and being against the Iraq war, and having Kanye's music kind of all went hand. Like Kanye saying George Bush doesn't care about black people, Chappelle's show coming out doing all these hilarious, in my view, very anti-racist sketches. That was and making fun of Bush. That's all wrapped up. Who'd have thought that we'd live to see both of them just totally? Kanye to a much greater extent. But, I'm tired of the anti-trans, specials with Chappelle. I'm just like, come on now, man. Move it along. Do something else. And I think he is.
Yeah, I think he is. I think we all kind of went through a very strange phase where it's everyone just became obsessed with the 1%.
Yes, the wrong 1%, as we like to say.
As you became just so obsessed with it. But I would say that, man, I just thought you handled that so well.
Thank you. Thank you.
So cool.
If you were there, if you weren't there, come see me And Paul, live, we're going to be at the Ice House in Pasadena on Saturday, July 11th. So if you want to see this in an even more professional setting, come out to see us back at it with New World Disorder, which is my monthly show that has been not so monthly lately. And I apologize, but we are on for Saturday, July 11th. Very excited to have Paul on the lineup.
Oh, yeah.
And also, I'm going to be in Minneapolis. I hear there's some fuck shit happening in Minneapolis, and they are arresting people for the crime of, I don't know, defending their community, documenting what ICE is doing. But don't worry, we have a banger lineup. The Bitchuation Room live in Minneapolis, Thursday, August 20th. I said June 20th. I don't know what months are. Paul even had to correct my flyer for the July show. So ignore the first thing I say. Ignore one of the 5 dates I'm going to give you and just look at the 5 dates. But Thursday, August 20th, get your tickets. It's going to be so fun. Matt Lieb's going to be out there. Liz Winstead is also going to be on the show. And also, we have a Patreon. If you love this show, you want to support it, it is completely ad-free. There are, however, some mid-roll ads. You know how it goes. You're listening to your favorite show and a mid-roll ad pops up and you're like, I hate this. Become a patron. Patreon.com/Bitchuation and you get all ad-free content. You can join at the $5 level. The $10 level gets you a shout out during the fart song, which Paul will soon understand what that is. You can get some merch included in that. In fact, I personally just mailed out some stickers the other day. So you're welcome. And I apologize for my handwriting. And we have a new supporter exclusive show called Hot Button, where I interview activists, organizers, intellectuals, actors. And this week, Saba Waheed, who is the head of the UCLA Labor Center, joined me. We talked about techno-feudalism, how we got to organize, how, basically joining a labor union is the only way out of this. And so at some point, entertainers are also like comics. Live entertainers are also going to need our union of our own.
Yeah, I think just with the rise of AI that we're going to need a new union for live performers.
Years ago, like 10 years ago, I was on this show and, back then it was like, let's interview the executive of Google working on like AI and robotics because it seemed like cute,
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to me privately and goes, the one thing we can't teach AI to do is have a sense of humor. Like, we don't know how to teach it to do jokes. So your job is safe for now. But I do know of, and I have heard of, comedians being paid and tapped to try and train AI on joke writing.
Really?
I mean, AI can already write like a shitty joke or whatever. I mean, the seriously is probably something they would have written. But anyway, all to say we have a little bit of a head start over, others.
Yeah, I think it's gonna eventually be freaking hilarious. I think AI is gonna be so funny.
When you go to the Comedy Cellar and you get bumped for some Claude robot, I'm sorry, Claude's here. He's got like 5 million followers on Instagram. He's coming through. He's just gonna do.
He has a fleet of robotic women.
Yes,
just with him. Yeah, Claudettes.
It's better though. It's like, yes, hit on the robots.
Dang.
Not real audience members.
Yeah, not to be robophobic.
No, please.
But I just think that you're actually not far from what's going to happen. I think there's going to be a robotic performer. There's already like robotic or just AI actresses.
There's AI influencers.
Yeah, including not us though. This is real.
Yeah, no, you can't prove we are not real. We're super real, and we're not aliens embodying flesh suits made to look like Paul Elia and Francesca Fiorentini. We are super real.
You sound like we are now.
Yeah. No, and you should definitely, don't put us in HD. Don't put a mirror up to the screen right now.
Don't.
All right. Well, there's so much to talk about. We got to get into it. But first, we start the show off the exact same way, which is asking you, my guests, myself, and everybody in the audience, what are you bitching about? Paul, what are you bitching about today?
Man, you know what? On the ride over here, because I think there's so much happening in my heart.
Oh, I thought you meant I thought you were going to say in the world, and it just ended within my heart, but okay. I love it.
Because I think
there's a lot happening in my heart.
Yeah, because I feel like the world is kind of affecting it. Like I was even thinking about this. Like I feel like MAGA is ruining Christianity. Because like you'll see like these far right Christian nationalists like they say the most heinous things.
Yes.
While they're wearing a cross.
Yeah. Oh, they always have. You have to wear the cross. It allows you to say the heinous thing.
Yeah, but they can't do that with the Jesus merch. It's like if you're gonna say some heinous things, like you got to tuck your chain in. Like tuck your chain in, because there's some people that like, I'm noticing are like they don't want to be religious or affiliate with any religion, especially Christianity, because they're like, oh man, if I'm Christian, that means I'm Kid Rock.
Right. Exactly. It's corny as hell now.
Yeah, it's corny, and like people are like, and there's people that are like really confused, and they're like, I'm just gonna do yoga now. That's
why I think the only Christians I trust are like Christians of color. Oh no, the cat's here. Yeah, like if you're a Christian of color, like I'm like, okay, person of color, Christian, not afraid. I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's like how I think like probably women should be the only ones who can own a gun for the next 10 years.
Wow.
And black people should be the only one who get to vote for the next like 10, 15. And then we'll be square like after that.
Wow.
Definitely the voting should happen. But anyway, keep going.
That's fire.
But just some small solutions. But for sure, like, I remember one of the first videos I did for Newsbrook when I worked for Al Jazeera, AJ Plus, was about like Trump's bastardized Christianity. And we had a lot of people, and this is the early days of Facebook, who were like, thank you so much for doing this video. Because they were like, I'm Christian and I really feel misrepresented by this evangelical, prosperity gospel, which is like, if you've got money, it means you should have money. But tell me, it must get annoying for someone who's actually Christian to feel so misrepresented.
Man, it kills me, bro. Yeah. It makes me so sad because like I even had wrestled with my own faith because of like I'd wear a cross and I would see people look at it and look at me and be like, is he racist?
Right.
Like,
you're like, oh.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not. But then like even I did this joke about Valentina Gomez.
Yes. Oh my gosh. She's so funny.
She's insane. This woman is insane, bro. Like she's saying the most heinous things. Like, and honestly, like when she starts off her videos, like,
but with the most incredible accent, and she like, if you are a Muslim, you are a jihadi, there is no place for you. And I don't know, I think I'm doing more of a Puerto Rican, but like, and it's just like, oh God, we will lock you up, and just like beep, beep, expletive. I wanted to like impersonate her for a very long time.
You gotta do it.
Because the whole thing would be bleeped, because it's just like F-bomb, N-bomb, and then jihadi. But keep going.
Yeah, like she'll start off her video and like I'll agree with like one thing she'll say. Like she'll start the video and be like this, we have to protect it, it's like the children.
Yeah, and you're like, yes.
I'm like, yeah, we do have to protect it, it's like the children.
And then
yeah, and then she'll be like, and that is why we have to get rid of all of it, it's like the Muslims. Christ is king. And I'm like, bro, like, no. Like you can't button that sentence.
Even the like, I don't know if it's beyond evangelicals, but like the Christ is king thing is like, I don't know. It's also, I don't really love it. And I also feel like for MAGA, it's very much like Christ is king, king is Christ, king is Christ, king is Christ. Like it's very easy to just flip it and be like, king is Christ, Trump is king, Trump is king, Trump is Christ, Trump is king, king is Christ. Like it just kind of all is like feeds into what, who they think is really king and Christ, which is Trump.
And even just hearing Jesus is king or Christ is king, people are like, oh, that's like what racists say.
It sounds like it to me.
And
I'm sorry.
Not but that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the problem. And it's like, this is what I'm bitching about, is that I just like, I'm trying to find a way to be like, you know what? I want to be the difference. I want to be like, hey, you could be Christian and also like not hate Muslims or hate. It's kind of like what the IDF did to Judaism. People are afraid of, there's so many Jewish friends of mine that are like, bro, I'm just spiritual now. They're like, I just do yoga and I wear a feather.
Yeah.
And this is my religion.
Well, yoga is its own slippery slope.
You know what I mean?
Because then they're like, then it's all the anti-vax community. Okay, I'm going to let the cat out really quick. But you guys have to see her belly because she got it shaved.
No. Guys, we're going to show a shaved cat.
Look at the kitty belly. Oh my God.
Oh, I love cats. I have 2 cats.
Okay.
I have 2 cats. Love them both.
Okay, go.
Beautiful cats.
Okay. The show has gone off the rails completely. We've lost all semblance of order. So you're bitching about that. It's a good thing to bitch about. It's perennial. And we got a Valentina Gomez impression, much better than mine. Okay.
No, yours was great.
No, but she's such a clown. I love it. I kind of don't want her to go away. But here's what I'm bitching about. Two things if we have time. But okay. JD Vance is not human.
Okay.
This is my theory. I don't think he is human. He was sort of created by Peter Thiel. He's an early prototype of politician. They gave him a great backstory with the, hillbilly elegy, my mom's so crack, whatever the fuck. Not real. We're in a simulation and it's JD Vance is real. And I don't think he's real. He has a wife named Usha Vance. Now, a lot of people for a long time were like, free Usha, protect, free Usha from Vance. It's like, Usha likes this.
Usha likes it.
Usha is all on board. So Usha is now pregnant with one of Vance's spawn, one of the fake, I don't know what it's like, half alien, half human. You know what I mean? The point is she's very, very pregnant. But Usha Vance she has a podcast. Because the second lady has to do something.
Right.
The first lady's really abdicating her duties, especially for one thing, which is reading. Melania Trump, sort of famously not very good at reading.
Yeah.
Usha Vance is trying to right that wrong. And she's got a podcast all about reading. And it's called Story Time with the Second Lady. Straight up. And let me just give you a sense of the kind of riz that Usha Vance is bringing to this podcast.
So glad you joined me today to read a story. I've always loved reading from when I was a kid until today. And now, as a mom, story time with my kids is the highlight of my day. Books have taken our family on so many adventures.
And now I love reading. And as a mom, story time with my family is my favorite time of day. Because it's time that I forget that JD Vance's entire base is a bunch of racists who think that I am a secret Muslim and am poisoning the gene pool of the white race. Anyway.
New paragraph.
Yeah, new paragraph. Scroll up. Thank you. Now, so she's no Miss Rachel.
It's so
Let's just put that out there.
Bro.
She's just not able to I love just smile a little bit.
She needs a new director.
A little bit of a direction. Now, she had her new guest on recently, and it was the vice president himself.
Oh,
and
wow.
She
booked him?
I know. It's crazy. It's like how I can't book Matt. Matt's always busy. I can't book it. Like that's the one thing I identify with Usha. He's literally downstairs, and I can't book him for a show. I'm like, Matt, come on my show. I can't. So I identify with Usha in that sense, but here she is interviewing JD Vance, and this is how the interview starts off, people.
That's right. Today's special reader is my husband, Vice President of the United States, JD Vance. Thanks for joining us today, honey.
Of course. Good to see you.
If you're listening, he says, good to see you, leans in and gives her the most attaboy pat on the knee. We have to watch it again.
That's right. Today's special reader is my husband, Vice President of the United States, JD Vance. Thanks for joining us today, honey.
Of course. Good to see you.
He looked at the knee for 2 seconds, and then he's like, I'm going to do something. And then he leaned over and was just then gave the tap. So he was thinking about it. And he was like, I'm gonna tap that knee.
No, exactly. Like a alien robot or whatever he is, he says, of course, good to see you. Look at knee, lean in, tap, tap, move back. It's not of course, good to see it. At the same, you could do it at the same time.
Yeah.
You could do whatever it is. But the way, you cannot tell me that is his child. I'm sorry. These people, if they do have sex, they fuck through a sheet. No disrespect to people who fuck through.
Yeah, we don't disrespect sheet fuckers.
Sheet fuckers, so long as, you're not, you don't want to kill Palestinian children, because I think it is more of an orthodox thing.
I want a lady in the streets and sex in between sheets.
Between sheets. Sex through sheets.
Through sheets.
So, and the other thing is, I'm sorry, but my joke for this is that baby's going to be a C-section because that pussy is dry as hell. There's no way that's
Damn, bro.
She is very pregnant, and there's when it's that dry, there's no way she's pushing it out natural. You know what I'm saying? No, again, no disrespect to the C-section, but that is there's no lube between that couple whatsoever.
Yeah, I also, that'd be crazy if her podcast was sponsored by like gun oil, like some sort of lubricant.
If any lubricant company wants to sponsor, they still doing KY?
But also it's like, look, whoever's editing this podcast should have been like, hey, this is weird.
Yeah, cut it.
Cut to a close-up.
Totally.
Cut to a close-up, and it's like, bro, the dude is weird. Like, stop showing that. It's like, people are just gonna clown you.
Yes.
And yeah, it looks very foreign. They don't look like they're in a relationship at all.
No.
And yeah, there's zero Republican riz.
No, and here's the thing is that remember when Tim Walz hugged his wife? If you remember this on the campaign trail with Kamala Harris, there's a moment that the right freaked out about because Tim Walz hugged his wife on stage.
What did they say that was so weird?
That it wasn't natural and normal. Like that they were supposed to just straight up pee and vagine, like have sex on stage right there. Like that it wasn't a kiss, right? Like it wasn't affectionate enough. It was too awkward.
Fake.
Right. It was too awkward to just hug your partner, which honestly, like, I think hugging is good. Nobody really needs or wants to see you kiss your person on the lips.
Yeah, you don't need to.
You don't always need to do that just to prove that you're together. So hugging, super normal. Whatever the hell this knee tap was, very alien. It's like, did you see him ordering donuts? You remember when Vance ordered donuts?
No, I don't remember that.
He's on the campaign trail and he's like, I don't, what do people usually get here? Okay, I'll have a couple of those and it was like.
It's awkward.
Yeah, I'm like, what's your favorite donut, dude? Like, okay, do you like a chocolate old fashioned? Do you like maple bar? Do you like a, apple fritter? That's for me. Like, what do you like? Be normal.
Yeah, I think that's why Obama was such an anomaly because he just was like smooth with that shit. And like, but he was smooth to the degree where it's like, oh, he's just like a normal person.
He's a normal person who eats donuts and knows what his order is when he goes to the donut shop.
I'll take the chocolate donut and maybe the one with sprinkles and maybe a little cup of coffee.
Beautiful. Like, I'm already charmed by that. So good.
And then he taps the employee's knee. He's like, thank you. He's like, wow, you reached over and tapped my knee.
He didn't say thank you. so psychotic to lean in for that.
What were you saying in terms of weirdness? Like the J.D. Vance hug to his wife. Would you say when you looked at that, you're like, I can see how it could be kind of weird? Or you're like, bro, they're just fabricating it. It's exaggerated.
No, the Tim Walz one, super fabricated. They basically didn't know whether, like, the right was trying to glom onto something about this guy because he was actually kind of crushing it in the news. So they were like, yeah, the fact that he only hugged his wife instead of planting a fat ass kiss on her is not normal behavior.
And they say that's normal.
That's
like,
super.
They're like, yeah, that's how you tap your wife's knee.
Good to be here, honey. Very good. And I have to leave in 31 minutes now. You kind of wasted a little bit of time with the sound check, so.
I feel like he was forced to do the knee tap. She was like, it's in the contract.
Yeah.
One knee tap.
You have to touch me at some point to prove that this is your child and not the pool boys or whomever. Anyway, we'll leave that there. Let's get into it, guys. So many things happened this week, but only two in my book. This is the week where.
Okay.
This was the week where we made a very, let me rephrase that. This was the week where MAGA, the regime, made a really big deal out of a pool, specifically the reflecting pool of the Lincoln Memorial in DC. There's a whole drama about this. There's a saga, and it's quite funny, so stay with me on all of it. So it begins with, let's begin at the end.
Okay.
The end is Caroline Leavitt, who is, I guess, still on maternity leave. She's out here saying that the 6 vandals who are arrested for, tarnishing the reflecting pool will be brought to justice, and this shall not stand. Here she was on Hannity, Sean Hannity last night.
All right, Caroline, any more details on the 5 people that have been arrested regarding vandalism here? The vandalism is very real, despite what Tim Walz wants to say. It's an imaginary problem. No, it is not. It's a very real problem. In fact, I spoke with the National Park Service just before joining the show. They now have 17 police reports that have been filed in just the matter of a few days. There's actually been 6 arrests at the Reflecting Pool, where, again, these deranged individuals, many of them longtime donors to the Democrat Party, to Barack Obama, to Act Blue, that have been vandalizing and desecrating our federal monument, one of the most beautiful monuments in the world, the Reflecting Pool. And that's why President Trump is not going to stop with this effort. We're going to not only hold those people accountable, but we're going to fix the pool, make it.
So 6 people have been arrested in connection with allegedly vandalizing the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. What has actually happened is something very different. And it's very, just as a side note, she also said, these are, they're connected to Obama. Trump is now saying that Obama is responsible for vandalizing the Lincoln Memorial. Unclear how. He's been tweeting about that. She also mentioned Act Blue. Now, Act Blue is very important because the Trump administration has been going after Act Blue, which is basically a donation website that you can, if you donate to a politician who's a Democrat, you usually will be donating through Act Blue. A lot of fundraisers go through Act Blue, and they are trying to dismantle it. So that basically the biggest fundraising arm of Democrats, progressives, Working Families Party, leftists is going to be shuttered. And
they're demonizing it, saying these people are vandalizing. Oh, no wonder. Look what they donate to.
Yes, exactly. They're trying to connect it all. What they do is be like, and Antifa. You know what I mean? They're just, so that's why, that's what they're saying. Now, what is the reality? Here's the deal. The Reflecting Pool had a makeover. It underwent a $14 million renovation that painted the entire bottom of the pool blue. Okay, so they gave it a new sheen. They were very excited about this. And then what happened? The pool turned green because of an algae bloom.
Uh-huh.
Now, what then happened after the algae bloom, which, by the way, this is Sarah Bellis on Twitter saying Donald Trump will go down in history as the only U.S. president to be outwitted by a single-celled organism, algae, which is hilarious.
That's so funny.
Okay, so the Reflecting Pool turned green, and people are kind of making a big deal about it. They're kind of excited about it. In fact, here's a pro-algae protester outside of the Reflecting Pool.
Let's grow algae, let's grow. Woo! Let's grow algae, let's grow. Woo!
Okay, so that was then, hang on, let me move this, let me get this proper. So let's grow algae, let's grow. The woman dressed as a frog. People are like, team algae, algae lives matter, let's go algae, because it's ruining his Reflecting Pool, and it's very, very funny. Now, what did the Trump administration then do? They sent a bunch of people, or the contractors sent a bunch of people to straight up pour hydrogen peroxide into the Reflecting Pool en masse to try and get rid of this algae bloom. Do you see this?
Okay, these scientists? they look like cross guards.
Yes.
They're doing construction.
The cross guards are pouring bleach or hydrogen peroxide into the Reflecting Pool. So that was stage 2. Stage 1, algae bloom. Painting, algae bloom. Stage 2, what do we do with this? Let's just pour a bunch of, bleach into the pool.
Okay.
Leading to things like dead duckling found in Reflecting Pool, and other things. But nevertheless, the National Guard is protecting this Reflecting Pool, because what had happened after they put bleach in the Reflecting Pool is that the paint job that they hired a contractor to do started peeling. And so paint from the pool, from the bottom of the pool, started coming up. And that is what the regime is now saying is vandalism.
These are cases that will be prosecuted to the full extent. If there are more serious products that are put into the reflecting pool to create more algae or a bigger problem, then we'll consider more serious charges. But make no mistake, making DC beautiful is a priority, and if you damage, vandalize, or do anything to impact something like the reflective pool, you can be prosecuted.
Blue.
Act blue. Well, act blue is more bluer than this pool.
Seriously.
they want to act blue on the pool.
For real. So that is Janine Pirro saying if there's anyone out there who's going to vandalize it by putting more algae in it, you're like, oh my God, y'all are so stupid and you're making such a big deal of this. So what you see on the right-hand side of the screen, and if you're listening, there are multiple people filming themselves pulling up these massive like chunks of paint that because of the hydrogen peroxide that was put into the pool has made the paint job like come off. And so people are touching it because they're like, what are this chunk of, because like it's not a big body of water. It's like a couple feet, right?
You know what the biggest issue with MAGA and these reporters are is that they'll just never admit when they're wrong.
Right.
It's like, just say like, you know what? Hey man, we messed up on the bottom of the pool. We don't need to frisk this guy in skateboarder pants. He didn't, this guy that works at Guitar Center had nothing to do with what happened. We made a mistake. And it's like, man, owning up to that would be like, I'm like, man, I respect you so much more. It's like, just own up to it. But like, they're just like, oh man, see that, look what Obama did.
Exactly. So this is what your point is being illustrated by Mike Levin, who had a great tweet that explains the backstory and is just kind of like, please, y'all. So he says, a note to my friends who still back MAGA or back Trump. I'm not here to dunk on you. I'm writing because you have a working brain and this story insults you. The Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool got a $14 million paint job. Shortly thereafter, the water turned green and the new American flag blue. Coating started peeling off the bottom in sheets. Trump says vandals did it. He claimed without evidence that someone took a knife and cut a 300-foot slit, a number that grew to 350 feet while he was still talking. Back on May 4th, Trump bragged about the same coating and said if you had a knife, you couldn't cut it so strong like powerful rubber. He cannot have it both ways. And the green water? A George Mason scientist tested it and found ordinary non-toxic algae, the kind that blooms in any shallow, sunny pool. To fight it, crews have dumped hydrogen peroxide into the water. Hydrogen peroxide is also a paint stripper. That's not sabotage or vandalism. It's the obvious reason the paint came off. They wrecked their own paint job, then blame phantom vandals for it. The lone vandal they paraded is a 67-year-old Olympian who touched a flap of paint already peeling on its own. Here's the thing. If they will look you in the eye and lie about something this small, something you can see with your own eyes, ask yourself what else they're lying to you about. Again, you have a working brain. People like Caroline Leavitt are counting on you to stay loyal instead of exercising independent thought. Prove them wrong. I mean, they're not going to read that whole thing because they can't. So
yeah, this is why they should have hired immigrants to do the job.
Yes. My
cousin would have hooked that pool up for half the price and got it done, and it would have stayed blue.
Well, you know who did it? You know who did the job?
I wonder.
This guy.
That guy with the cigar?
Yes.
Paul Bearer?
It's a fucking Dick Tracy cartoon. This is a man named JJ Cafaro who is pictured at Mar-a-Lago here with, a woman with tits, as you do. And he's got a massive cigar and he looks like a Dick Tracy character. He's got the eyebrows that are like going over his eyeballs. It's a $1.7 million contract to install a new water cleaning system for the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. It was a no-bid contract to install a nano bubble filtration system, and it went to Green Water Solutions, this Ohio-based company whose owner is JJ Cafaro Investment Trust, a guy who has been, again, to get these contracts, you just hang around Mar-a-Lago with a hot chick and have a cigar.
Dang.
And get out of the way when Trump wants to golf or hit the omelet bar. That's it.
That's fucking crazy.
So it wasn't just the paint job. It's that even the filtration system to stop something like an algae bloom, they fucked up. And now they're blaming Antifa or a 67-year-old Olympian.
Look, I guess my question is, why does the pool have to be reflective? Like, I think it was fine the way it was before. Like, no one's gonna. First of all, I don't think anyone's gonna have a vantage point high enough to be like, I want to see the American flag on the Lincoln Memorial Pool.
Yeah, and also, like, it's the United States of America in the year 2026. Do we really want to see ourselves?
Will they let you swim in it?
Yeah, exactly.
They won't let you swim in it. You could just look at it. So why don't you just leave it the way it is and use that money and maybe stop homelessness a bit?
There you go. There you go. I mean, it's crazy because he got the contract, but it was $14 million renovation is how much it ultimately cost. So I think that discrepancy is probably what he pocketed.
Wow.
I mean, clearly. Because anyway, but it's just so good. I love JJ Cafaro, man. I love finding out about new little Trump villains.
Yeah, that guy looks like he has dice in his pocket.
No.
He looks. Can't see.
Yeah, he looks like a guy like he has his own pinball machine.
Yeah, he calls women toots.
Oh, absolutely.
Come here, toots.
Hey, I'll paint your algae green.
I'll make you a star, kid. I think she was the one he hired to be like, hey, you know how to do with a paintbrush? Why don't you go down there and paint it blue for me, see?
Sasha G said it was a very bad duckling, hated America. Absolutely. That duckling was hiding immigrants.
Dead duck. Look at that duck. That duck died. We lost a lot of good ducks, actually.
Duck, duck, goose. Don't want to be the duck. You want to be the goose. All right, let's get into our next story because it's kind of crazy, which is about Polymarket. Now, Polymarket is a website, an app where you can bet on anything. How many ducks are going to die in the reflecting pool? 1, 5. I'm sure there's a bet right now. You can bet on the future. They call it the predictive market or prediction markets.
Oh, so it's not like a openly fluid market?
No, it should be illegal. But,
okay.
Our Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and Trading Commission, CFTC, is completely corrupted. Donald Trump Jr. sits on the board of Kalshi, which is another one of these prediction market apps. I did a whole video breakdown, if people haven't seen it, on Polymarket and why it's ruining politics. It's breeding insider trading. IDF soldiers have bet on where strikes were going to take place. And then they did, and then they got money.
Wow.
Yeah. We're going to kill eight children today. Yay. And now we know that so much of Polymarket has actually been falsely boosted by influencers, of course. And this is a breakdown by the Wall Street Journal, did a whole investigation into this. Here, let me just put this up.
People are so dumb.
They are so dumb. But here is sorry, I don't have the headline, but the Wall Street Journal did a whole investigation about it. And let's just take a look at what they found.
This guy just made $3K. Bro, what?
TikTok and Instagram are full of videos of people appearing to make a ton of money on Polymarket.
Yes!
Bro, what? This guy looks like he just won $6,000. Except he didn't. This is not a real bet. Neither is this one, or this one. The people who made those videos were paid by Polymarket to promote fake bets and fake wins to make it seem like anyone can make money on their website. We analyzed over 1,000 videos like these and found that the bets shown in all of them were faked.
Bro, there's no way this is real right now.
Take this video, for example. This guy looks like he's spending $200 betting that Trump is going to say the words April Fools during the first week of April. Now, this market is supposed to close in April, but the data in the chart goes all the way through May. And then they show a video of Trump saying, yes! That video is actually from March of last year. Anyone who made this bet in real life lost money.
Okay, so that they explain a lot more, but the long and short of it is this is illegal. Now TikTok and YouTube are trying to clamp down on it, but has been allowed to fester. So these are influencers getting money from Polymarket in a push to draw users to its unregulated platform. Polymarket has flooded social media with videos like Makiharas, which appear genuine at first glance. In reality, Polymarket built a near perfect copy of its website and then instructed creators to make simulated trades on those dummy sites and hide that they were being paid by Polymarket. So it would say like Polymarket, like an I instead of an L. And that's what they are using to like, you know, make their videos and, you know, make money from Polymarket while other people sink their money and lose their money into Polymarket. And now I have to break for this.
Live from the Polymarket studio in LA. It's the Young.
Sorry, because the Young Turks was also renamed their studios Polymarket Studios for a time, and no one should forget that, and they should have to answer for that. But anyway, this is like, again, the Trump administration has taken a relaxed approach to regulating prediction markets. According to the Wall Street Journal, CFTC has filed more than half a dozen lawsuits to stop states from regulating and taxing prediction markets because states are trying to stop this because they're like, this is, you know, especially in places like Nevada, which has legalized gambling, right? They're like, this is gambling. This is gambling on something so ridiculous. This is not just like, you know, sports betting and all that, which is its own insanity, but this is extra illegal and people are losing money on this. They're trying to regulate it. And Trump's Consumer Financial Trade Commission is clamping down on or trying to stop the states from regulating. Trump recently said in his Truth Social post that it's critically important that the CFTC has exclusive authority over prediction markets so they can thrive, calling politicians who wants states to regulate them scum. Trump's son, Don Jr., is an investor in Polymarket and a paid advisor to rival Kalshi.
It seems like these whole things are just really thriving off of people's like weakness. I'm sure a lot of the people who are like bet are just like addicted to gambling.
Yeah.
It's like giving alcohol like at an AA meeting.
Totally.
It's like these people are addicted and it's like, oh, you can win and just fool them. And because I've myself have been fooled by some ads where like I'm constantly seeing an ad and it's like, this thing is going to work. This thing is going to work. And then I'll get it. And it doesn't help my plantar fasciitis. And I spent $400 on this thing.
Acupuncture. No, but yes, apparently. But yeah, no, exactly. I mean, and this is, look, I'm not TikTok pilled, but people who are, you know, TikTok is all about authenticity. And a lot of this looks just like someone, you know, documenting their life and what they've done. Okay, I'm going to take this bet on Polly. And I love how they all start off with like, bro,
yeah,
bro, is this real? Bro. And like the directive was like start off the same way. Like they were advised to start off with like bro or bro, it's like free money. It's like free money.
I just won $500,000. And I'm like, wait, why do you still have what it looks like a roommate?
Exactly. Like 6 months later, bro. And they're investing so much money in this. Like I know like political influencers who were told, I mean, obviously political influencers who are like, so this is Polymarket and they're offering a fuck ton of money. I know Hassan Piker said they offered him like $1 million to sponsor his election coverage in 2024.
Dude, I don't take money from the devil. That's the way I look at this. I look at this as so evil. It's like you're manipulating people.
Yeah.
And you're taking their money. And I think that's like, well, like, you know, that's like the argument I would have like against some capitalists. They're just like, hey man, we're not forcing them to do it. And it's like, yeah, but you're showing them lies and you're doing all this stuff to get their money. Like, I guess my question to like that is like, is there any part of you that feels like ashamed or you feel bad about it? And I feel like their answer is just like, nah.
No, because that's on them, you know, to do their due diligence. But yeah, you're literally creating a fake website to look like Polymarket to make it look like you just won. That's so deceptive.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know. It's just like, there's just there. And also, if you have to work that hard to push your product and your platform, you know it's bullshit. You know it's not making people money. And, you know, there are some people. It's not just Trump, but it's Trump pushers. If you've heard of this 25-year-old manosphere influencer named Aiden Ross.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So Virality, by the way, is the company that was doling out these deals for Polymarket. Ross has a multi-million-dollar deal with Polymarket, according to a person familiar with negotiations. He averages half hour per week on his live stream, scrolling through Polymarket and commenting on potential trades. In at least 5 of the videos, Ross identified ways he could use inside information to trade on the platform. So they're openly talking about insider trading, which, you know, by the way, one of the people I think who predicted the capture of Nicolas Maduro was had access to intelligence. And it's like, yeah, that's what it breeds. Insider trading. People were like either in special forces, were in special forces, have access to like our data. Meanwhile, Edward Snowden, who leaked NSA data, is like still in hiding in Russia for doing that. But it's like, now we just let Edward Snowden in the year 2026 would be allowed to bet money and win money off of the information that he leaked from the NSA, or like Chelsea Manning.
It's just legalized stealing.
Yeah, I mean, that's Trump.
Damn.
Legalized stealing.
We're going to steal on Polymarket. I'm going to predict in the Bituation room. Someone's going to say stealing. Can I just...
We're going to say Assyrian 7 times.
I mean, some of these Polymarket bets are probably like so ridiculous. And it's like, you go win $1 million and then it's like such an outrageous thing that's going to happen. If like this person I think it's going to get out of hand.
Yeah.
Dude, I got a great idea for a movie. It should be a Polymarket bet where some guy's betting that his friend's going to die in 3 days.
Ooh.
And then once that day happens, everyone's trying to kill him.
I love that. And also, you would only be able to fund that via Polymarket.
Oh, damn!
Like, Polymarket would be like, this is a great idea. They're going to hear this. First of all, they probably like scrubbing the internet for mentions of their name. And they're going to find this and they'll be like, Paul, would you like to write this?
Dude,
and
it's going to be called the Paul E Market. It's an electronic market made by me.
I'm dying. Paul's going to show up to like, first of all, Paul's going to stop answering my calls very soon. He's going to show up to a show in like a new, I don't know. What's a hot car now?
It's like a hot ride.
What's like a hot ride?
It's a hot ride
He's
that
gonna
fades like.
He's going to show up in like a little Lambo and he's going to be like, what do you mean? No, I didn't do a Polymarket deal. Well, I didn't sell a script called Paul E Market.
Yeah, dude, I want to drive a car the same car that dude with the cigar has. I bet you he has a really tiny.
He has a buggy. Like,
yeah, he has one of those.
Like one of those.
It has like the number in a circle, like right on the door.
He's got a bunch of bullet holes from all the fucking like little mafiosos chasing him.
Yeah, he has cash bags with like the cash sign and like flies behind him.
Anyway, guys, don't look to prediction markets, please. Even on things like elections, outcomes, and all this. And I know CNN and CBS, by the way, put Polymarket and Kalshi stats as if it were news. Like, let's see what the prediction markets are saying because they get paid to. They are getting paid. That's the state of our media. Is like even like, yeah, we want to blame influencers, and obviously, I don't think you should take that money. But yes, CNN and CBS are also taking that money.
You know what I realized? I'd rather have every dollar I get come from some level of integrity than any dollar that comes from some type of deception. And it's like, I just feel like...
Isn't laughter a form of deception?
Well, actually, it's a form of surprise.
Which is deception.
Is deception surprise? Like surprise, like to be like, surprise! It's like, you deceived me.
Yeah, I mean, a surprise birthday party is like, this is amazing, thank you, but also deception.
Wow. That's crazy. No, that's just someone walks in their surprise birthday. Surprise! They're just like...
First of all, I've never had a surprise party. I think in part because my friends know that that's pretty much what I do. Like, yay! Oh, so that's why you didn't call me back.
Oh, so that's why you said you're actually going to take me here to cook food, and there's all my best friends here. Get them the fuck out.
Let me see the group chat. Let me see what you said about me. Let me see what you said. No, I do want a surprise party. Thank you.
Yeah,
please.
dude, I've never had a surprise party. But everyone's like, oh, for your 40th, that's when the people do surprise parties. And I'm like, but that's the year where I don't give a shit. All right. I wanted a 20-year surprise birthday party when I was 20. I thought I was going to get a surprise birthday party.
So you're going to have one and you're going to be like, too late.
Have you ever thought you were going to get a surprise birthday party?
No, but that's so funny. Did you?
And you're like, wait, I swear I thought when I turned 35, like I was like all my friends were like, oh man, so come to the comedy club. It's going to be dope. And they're being weird. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I got what's going to happen. And then I was like, the lights are going to be off. I'm going to walk in and then everyone's going to say surprise from stage. And they're going to invite me on stage. I'm going to riff with all my friends on the back of a truck. And, the dancers are going to come. And Dude, it was
It's gonna be
none
like
of
an
those
oyster
things.
bar, and champagne's gonna is none of it.
0 oysters. And literally, they just did it because they were like, we all actually kind of forgot it was your birthday. Like, legit. I was like, no, you guys are joking. Like, there's like presents, right?
They're like, I mean, you could have a few more minutes.
yeah. And even then, I was like, oh, so there's nothing, right? And I haven't asked. I was like, Jackson,
Do I get a free
there's
drink?
nothing, right?
No, just one drink. One drink.
Yeah, no drink. Actually.
No drink.
Yeah. Actually, do you mind if you get a drink for me? with
Yeah,
your-
and also I think you owed me. Were you going to Venmo me for dinner the other night?
Oh, right. Yeah.
It just remember anyway because it was kind of expensive.
Shit.
All right, let's bring in my next guest. He's a Marxist economist, radio host, and author and co-founder of democracyatwork.info. Please welcome Professor Richard Wolff. Woo! Hello, Professor. Welcome back to the Bituation Room.
Thank you. Very glad to be here.
This is Paul.
Hey, Professor, how are you? I'm very intimidated with the amount of books you have in your background.
Yes. And I'm amazed at your birthday experience. It's very good.
Maybe this is a surprise party.
Yes.
Exactly. Surprise. We're going to quiz you on the economy.
Okay.
Professor, thank you so much for being here. The last time you were on, I remember it distinctly because it was right in the Biden years when the economy was making this recovery, and maybe you didn't coin the term, but you called what the Recovery Act did, which was, really giving money to the people and putting money in our pockets as a little bit of FU money. You said for the first time, Americans have a little bit of FU money, and they're not content with just taking a, terrible job or working a horrible shift. For the first time, workers had a little bit more power. And oh, how far we have fallen from those days in, the heady days of 2021, 2022. Give me your sense about where the Trump economy is, because all they can do is blame Biden for whatever is going on right now.
Okay. Let me respond this way. I do not want what I'm about to say to sound like I'm thinking Mr. Biden was something wonderful. He wasn't.
Yes.
Or that I think everything that's gone wrong is Mr. Trump's fault. He doesn't have that much power. He doesn't deserve neither the blame nor the credit that he keeps mongering. It's his style. It's what he is. It's how he got to be president, which says more about our country than about him. But in any case, let it sit for a moment. Our economy, and let me get it this way, tell you a story. I'm the product of the elite schools of this country. I went to Harvard, Stanford, and Yale. Never any other school. That's where my degrees are. I'm up to here with credentials. Don't ask me what happened there, because I'm not a great lover of what they put us through, and I didn't learn anywhere near what I could have and I should have. But if you have those pedigrees, you can do quite well here in the United States, and I don't deny that for 1 minute. And so I know a lot of the people that you read about in the paper. My classmate at Yale, for example, where I got my PhD in economics, was Janet Yellen, who became the Treasury Secretary.
Yeah.
And those people know me, although they're not so happy about it, and I know them. All right? So here's what I'm going to tell you. We get together, some of us, every so often for a coffee or a beer or something, because we were friends in graduate school and got to know each other and all that. And we sit around the table and we don't agree on how we got into this situation we're in as a country now, and we don't agree on how to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we do agree on something which the first time we noticed it surprised all of us. And here's what we agree on, and I'll summarize it in one sentence. This is the worst condition of the American economic system in our lifetimes.
Wow.
And you can see from the color of my hair, that of Janet Yellen too, although she probably dyes it. Nonetheless, we're older than you are, so we've lived a long time, and that's saying quite a bit.
Yep.
But it's really important. It is awful. It's awful. It's been building for many years. Again, Mr. Trump has made it worse, but he's not the architect. He's not the person who gets all the blame. Mr. Biden gets plenty. And the system we live in, it's really what the culprit is. It's not this or that politician. It's a system that works in a certain way. If you're interested, I'll be glad to tell you what the 3 or 4 key things are that are making it this bad.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. Number 1, not in importance, but it's important to understand the situation. Capitalism is an unstable system. Every 4 to 7 years, it crashes, wherever it is. In any country, everywhere, for 300 years or more, where capitalism settles in, we have what you can call, in my profession of economics, business cycles. Or you can call them ups and downs, upturns, downturns, recessions, depressions, inflations, booms, busts. We have a lot of words because it's always with us. Every 4 to 7 years. So, for example, we had a bad one in the spring of 2000 called the dot-com crash.
Yep.
7 years later, in 2008, we had another one called the subprime mortgage crash. And then 8 or 9 years later, we had the pandemic or the COVID-19 crash. Well, do the math. We're due for another one.
Mm-hmm.
The whole business community knows it. What I'm telling you is taught in every economics class in business school. They know because they got to plan their businesses and they've got to be sensitive to when it looks like things might go badly. If you've watched the stock market just the last couple of days, they tanked down tech stocks, Nvidia and all those fancy SpaceX and all the other hoopla crashed. Now, how far they'll crash each time, we don't know. How long it'll last, no one knows. You can't predict the future. But the nervousness of the market is why the last 2 days have been bad and why they may continue.
Yeah.
Number 2, instead of ending the endless wars, as Mr. Trump promised in his campaign, we have endless wars. And number 1, that's bad for the market. It's great for the defense industry, sure, they make a killing. But everybody else is made unaware and unable to plan, unable to make an investment because you don't know whether the ships will get through the Strait of Hormuz or not, etc., etc. But the wars being bad, there's one thing worse than a war that's bad, and that's a war that you lose. The United States just lost one.
Yep.
I know Americans can't get their heads around it, but what's happening in Iran is a defeat. As cold stone clear as the defeat in Vietnam, the defeat in Afghanistan, the defeat in Iraq, and now the defeat in Iran. People ought to begin to ask what it means if the country that claims to be the hegemon in the world loses the last 4 wars it has spent oodles of money fighting and killing God knows how many people.
Yep.
Losing the war, very, very dangerous for America and America's future, and that weighs on the market. Number 3, and perhaps the most important, for the first time in a century, the United States as an economy has a very powerful, successful competitor in the world. And that is the People's Republic of China. And again, you can pretend 12 ways on Sunday, which Americans do. But that's the reality. I'm not endorsing China. It has its problems like anybody else. But not to see what has happened is to be blind because you're scared. It's much better to be scared and face the music than to pretend and hope that it doesn't hit you. Every technological development we have achieved has now been matched or exceeded by the Chinese. including the greatest chips, Chat GPT, you name it. They do it either better or cheaper, and they're on their way to doing that with everything else.
Yep.
And, could that stop? Yes. Could the United States, in some imaginary way, now catch up? It could, but there's no sign that it's doing that, and there hasn't been. The U.S. has tried to stop or slow China for 20 years. Big, fat failure. I'm sorry, but I understand if what I'm saying is upsetting. And people who are upset should just turn on the evening news. It'll be much nicer. You won't get upset. Everything will sound like it's in order. None of it is true. It is as silly as some of the things you were referring to in your chit chat just a few moments ago. And you were right. I just hate to do it, but I got to tell you, when it comes to the economics, Americans are engaged in a level of denial about what's going on. My wife is a psychotherapist. In her profession, denial is a condition that she helps her clients overcome.
Right.
Denial is when your boyfriend or your girlfriend isn't anymore and you haven't figured it out, but your friends are trying to help you cope. And you don't even know you have something to cope with, but your therapist helps you understand how you got in that situation and helps you get out of it. We need that in this country. We have to give it to ourselves, but we're not there yet. We're busy with politicians leading the way, cheerleading right into the toilet. It's awful. It's awful to watch.
Yeah. Let me unpack that a little bit and ask you about, specifically the war and the stock market, because you're hearing Trump specifically do what you're saying, which is denial. It is a massive denial. Like, if there's one thing that's consistent about this regime, it's the denialism. Yes. There's no consistent strategy except denying what is happening. Okay. So Trump has been tweeting about how the stock market is great, the economy is great, we've won this war, and oil prices are falling. And anyone who says otherwise is an idiot. Can you just talk about the stock market either doing well, or, as you mentioned, maybe dipping, and maybe related to that, like the oil prices that are allegedly falling, even though they're literally like $6.50 in LA?
Well, let's start with the hard fact. Oil prices today, and I checked them today, are about 30% higher than they were before this war began. So whatever else you want to say, the whole world knows, and most Americans have experienced, that filling your car with gas is much more expensive now, and it has been throughout the month of June, May, April, and all the way back through March. So the war begins the last day of February, and the prices went up and have remained significantly higher. 30% more for the same gas in your car is going to take, we're a country that depends on the car, and consequently we are all affected by it. That hasn't changed. It may change, but that's in the hands, by the way, not of Mr. Trump, but of the Iranians. That's what it means when you lose a war. What the Iranians demonstrated to the whole world, and the shock of this around the world. I mean, I read foreign newspapers every morning to keep up. This shock is reverberating around the world. It's America. It's the emperor has no clothes story. Remember the little kid who says, "Gee, he's got no clothes." Well, the whole world is going, "My God." The United States, with all its weapons and budgets, and the Israelis who shoot up everything anyway, that together they were defeated. Mm-hmm. They can't control anything. They're being told by the Iranians it's extraordinary. The whole world is going, wow. So that is very important. Now, number two, the stock market. The most important economic fact about the stock market is the following. The top 10% of Americans by wealth own somewhere between 80 and 90% of the stocks. You have got to stop thinking about the stock market as an indicator of an economy as a whole. It has never been that, and it isn't that now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people have to understand. Do a lot of Americans have stocks? Yes. But they have 4 stocks that their grandmother gave them, you know, on their birthday,
Right.
or on their communion, or something.
Yes.
You know, and or they left them when they died. They got a nice little inheritance of a dozen shares of General Motors. General Motors has millions and millions of shares outstanding, as do all the other large corporations. And the little holders don't count. Why? Because everything that happens in a corporation has to be voted on by the shareholders. Well, what people don't understand is you get 1 share per vote that you own. So if you own 12 shares, you get 12 votes. And if you own 1 million shares, you get 1 million votes. The top 10% own the shares.
Right.
And they get the votes. For them, the stock market matters, for sure. But for 90% of the people, it does not. The reason Mr. Trump and his people point at the stock market is they can't point to very much in our economy because it's in such bad shape. They have to cherry pick something that looks good.
Right.
That looks good, and so they point to that. But nobody should be fooled.
Well, what do you mean, Professor, by that looks good? Like, what do you mean by that?
It's high. The stock market has been doing very, very well. If you bought stocks in a reasonable spread of them, if you had enough money to do that, over the last 20 years, you will have done real well. And by the way, footnote, let me explain briefly why that is. Over that time, our economy has had very serious problems. Basically, going back to the 1970s, we've had a real problem. One of the ways, not the only way, but one of the ways we've handled it is pumping money. The government has printed huge amounts of money, pumped them into the economy. Okay, now just ask yourself, you don't need a PhD in economics here, ask yourself, where did the money go? If you create a lot of money, one of the places it could go that a lot of people warn you about is inflation. In other words, that money could start running after goods and bidding up the price of everything. A little of that happened, but most of that money didn't go into the real economy because Americans can't afford to buy anymore. We're too poor. So where did the money go? Answer, the stock market. The money went right in there and it bid up the price of stocks. They were bought and sold from one to another, building up the price. The money funded an inflation in the stock market. But unlike an inflation in the regular economy, rich people love an inflation in the stock market. They're the ones who made the government spend all that money, and they're very happy that it went into the stock market because that's where they are.
Yeah.
And they found their wealth rising spectacularly. They're not unhappy. The top 10% of our people, that's why Mr. Trump is in office. They gave the money to enable him to be the flim-flam man for the rest of the population. And I hate to tell you this, and I know it may upset you, but they're still happy with him. They're not unhappy at all.
That's crazy.
For them, he has done well.
I have just some follow-ups on that. You know, one of the other ways that he's done well by, the rich people is part of the big, beautiful bill, the big fugly bill is a massive tax break to the wealthy that only adds, speaking of printing money, to our deficit. You know, he did that the first time around. Now he's made those tax cuts permanent. That does have an economic impact. Just before we leave the stock market, and you mentioned Nvidia is down, you mentioned these chips, you mentioned how China is outpacing us on, tech. What is your sense of how artificially inflated the stock market is by these like very few numbers of companies? Like it's like Nvidia and Google and like, whatever. It's only a handful of companies. And when the AI bubble bursts, which it will, we will, to your first point when you came in here, suffer one of those recessions, and this time it will be, I think, even worse. But anyway, explain that in terms of how artificial the current stock market bubble is.
Well, first of all, the reason it's quote unquote artificial is because it's very narrow, we call it. In other words, very few companies, the ones you've heard of, Google, Alphabet, Amazon, all of them, and there aren't that many. I mean,
right.
Fit the CEOs right up there on the dais, right behind Mr. Trump when he was inaugurated. They were all sitting there with their significant others, making sure the world understood this is the government of the billionaires, etc. So, number one, it's a small group of companies. They are doing spectacularly well because of this boom that they have hyped into existence. The danger is that it bursts, like you put it. It's a bubble that's burst. And everyone is aware in the stock market that that's what happened at the beginning of this century. In the early years of the 2000, the dot-com, remember back in the 1990s, there were all these companies that were dot-com this and dot-com that, and they were selling in the stock market for $500 a share, never having made a profit. Everybody was gambling that they would eventually be profitable, exactly the way they are doing now with AI.
Right.
People are hoping it will be profitable. It isn't yet, but it will be, and we're building out enormous electric generating places to provide the energy that the data processing requires to work the AI. All of that, borrowing billions from the banks to finance all of it, all of that could come tumbling down.
Damn.
Now, will it? The answer is no one knows the future. My guess is it will. I can't tell you exactly how, or I can't tell you when. But here's what worries me most. Those other issues, the wars we're losing, the competition from China, the fact that our economy has more and more CEOs worried about the decline, the crash, the next one, how soon will it come? The very conversation we're having, which is being replicated all over, and not just in social media, not just among the left wing, you might say, but I can assure you, in the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times, all the other major they're all wondering, is this it? Look at the papers tomorrow morning, the financial section. You'll see they're worried, is this it? Any one of those trouble spots could trigger the thing.
But it's ultimately Obama and Biden's fault. I just whatever happens, it's Obama and the algae and Joe Biden. I want to ask you specifically about before the war even started. We had started another war, which is multiple trade wars on multiple fronts. And I want to get your sense on which American businesses, which sectors have been hit the hardest. We haven't on this show really talked about the soybean farmers or, the beef industry. Like I know a lot of, especially in farming, this country has been hit incredibly hard because of the unnecessary tariff wars. Can you just explain that to the audience about what's been going on which were ruled illegal? I mean, they were deemed illegal, but they didn't. That I'm assuming that has not stopped the, the global market's trepidation when dealing with and trading with, American companies.
Absolutely not. They've tried. People should understand what got shot down was the law on the basis of which the tariff game was played. So he went to a second law, a different law, tried it again, got shot down again. He's going now to another one. He'll keep going. There's enough laws to try it this way or that way. And you never know quite where his Supreme Court When it will get to the point where maybe they're coaching him, I don't know, about how to legalize it.
Right, exactly. They're like, do we have a few notes, but we'll pass it. Just do this and that. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So he imposes a tariff. It's terrible for the companies that are affected. I want to remind everyone, because it's so ironic about American history. The Republican Party for a century, anti-tax, anti-tax, anti-tax. A tariff is a tax. It's the Republican Party under Trump imposing a spectacular new tax, a massive tariff to be imposed on virtually everyone. How interesting that the anti-tax party is now full speed ahead with a mammoth tax. You ought to ask a question or two or six or nine of them about this. Put that aside for a moment. He tries it. If he has someone he can hit with a tariff, remember what it means. It means a good that comes into the country that is manufactured outside the country has to now pay a fee. It's a tax when it crosses the border into our country. I'm going to give you a real example. The country that now produces the best quality electric vehicles, cars and trucks, best quality at the lowest price, is a Chinese company called BYD. If you never heard of it, be my guest. It's called the BYD. You can buy shares on the stock market here, and you can around the world. It's a huge company. It is going to become the GM of the world.
Wow.
It's becoming that now already. You can find it in Canada, you can find it in Mexico, but you cannot find it here. Why? Because there's 100% tariff. It was 27% under Biden, and then Trump raised it to 100%.
Jesus.
Okay, at 100%, here's what it means. You can get a wonderful electric car for $30,000. That's what they will charge you. They'll ship the car to New York or California. If you want to pick it up at the harbor, you can, but you must pay 100% tariff to Uncle Sam. That's who gets that money. It's a U.S. tariff, means it's paid to the U.S. government that imposes it. So it'll cost you $60,000. And so nobody's buying that because you can buy your own electric thing from Toyota or from GM or from Tesla for $50,000. You don't have to pay $60,000.
Right.
But you get an inferior truck. Just a little.
Wow.
Think about it. All the competitors of the United States around the world who are fighting with America for jobs and for a market are able to buy a car or a truck better quality at $30,000 than their American competitor who has to pay $50,000 for a less quality.
Right.
You know what that means in the long run? Our economy is dead. You can't. This is self-destructive.
Yeah.
Now, in the short run, it does protect the American producer of cars. We're still buying, gasoline-powered, non-electric cars, and we are protecting the jobs of our car makers. But it's a short run. It's a losing proposition in the longer run, and Americans ought to understand it. Now, to answer your question, the farmers in America are hurt by these tariffs. In those countries where they can't do anything about it, we hit them with a tariff, they have to pay. That's basically much of Europe. They can't fight back. They could, but they're not. They don't have the politics, not yet, may come. But there's one country in the world you can't play this game with, and that's China. Every time Mr. Trump hits them with a tariff, they find a way to let him know, don't do that, Donald. We are not Europe. We fight back. And here's an example of what they did. They used to buy the overwhelming bulk of the soybean products of the United States. We're very good at it. We produce huge quantities of soybeans. in the middle part of our country. And we shipped them to China. It was a very lucrative trade. The Chinese said, you want to tariff us? We'll get our soybeans someplace else.
Yep.
Who provides China with their soybeans today? Brazil.
Yeah.
And Americans are sitting there with their fingers, you know where, because they are. But then when you add oil prices going up, all of our agriculture is mechanized. We need oil and gas to run the tractor.
Yep.
They can't afford it. Closing the Gulf of Hormuz shuts down the flow of oil. Oil is the major ingredient in producing modern fertilizer. Fertilizer prices went to the roof.
Yep.
The farmer can't afford the fertilizer, can't afford the gasoline to run the tractor, has no market anymore in half the world that is saying it,
Professor,
it's like being in a room where the walls are moving in on you, and you turn this way and you turn that way, but you've screwed up so badly on so many levels that we are living through, you and I and the people watching this program, we are living through the decline of the American empire, and it's pulling the economy down with it. And if we don't wake up and overcome that denial, we are watching a kind of decline. Well, let me give you our future. Our future is Great Britain. Great Britain, the very word, Great Britain, not great, Little Britain. Why? Because it's reduced to a small, offshore, cold, wet island. That's what it is. It's not the world's empire. It's just, and they still haven't faced up to it. They think that when they put a crown on a clown they call a king, that the whole world wants to watch. We don't. It's not interesting. You're not the center of the world anymore.
Yeah, I know, but I like Prince Charles or King Charles with his two little sticks. Yeah. His staffs were very fun, his little scepters. Yeah. So, yes, we are. I mean, look, we're approaching the 250th anniversary of the country itself around the time when all empires die. And of course, Donald Trump is very, he is hastening the demise of the American empire vis-a-vis the American economy that he is tanking. And the rich, I mean, I think that's the other thing that we need to understand. The rich have no loyalty to the United States, truly. The rich, the Thiels, the Andreessens, the, Brian Armstrong and all these, crypto bros, they will set up shop if need be in China or wherever else they deem it, a better quality of life, right? They have no political allegiance despite claiming to.
Listen, Peter Thiel announced proudly that he bought a mansion in Argentina. He's moved his family. He's playing, and a lot of them, I know some of them personally. They've bought some, huge tract of land in New Zealand or Australia. They feel the need, partly because they really are in a complicated way, infatuated with their own wealth, but also guilt-ridden about it. It's very complicated. And the guilt part of them means they want to prepare that their wealth will somehow be taken from them. And it will be in a war or it'll be in a mass uprising. They have fantasy.
Right.
By the way, and after
that's what the Cybertruck was for.
After 3 martinis, those fantasies come out in a full bloom, and you realize what's going on in their brains. I don't know Peter Thiel, but my guess is he's got himself a little mansion in Argentina because he imagines he's going to escape, that somehow the world is going to be in conflagration, but he will have slithered out at the last moment.
Someone has not told Peter Thiel about social movements in Argentina because they are way more militant than in the United States. They will fuck you up, man. Argentina's already had a break with neoliberal capitalism.
It was big news in Argentina. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
Yes,
Everybody knows he's there anyway. But then, of course, they've got their crazy, anarcho-capitalist Javier Milei.
That's why he went. They hope to create, little, ExxonMobil moved its headquarters today from New Jersey to Texas. This is the same logic.
Wow. Professor, I think I have a fix for the economy.
Oh, please.
All right.
And I want to pitch it to you. And I just want to let you know, if you'd like to invest in this, we could talk about it. So you mentioned there's a lot of soybeans in mid-America that are not being exported to China right now. So they're kind of just sitting there. And obviously fuel prices are through the roof. And it's, I don't know how much a barrel of oil is right now. So I was thinking of creating a soybean fueled vehicle. All these soybeans that are being unused, you put it in the vehicle and now get the vehicle to go, right? And I'm thinking of creating this soy horse-powered.
Yeah, soy-powered
vehicle.
We have ethanol.
Yeah, we have ethanol. We have biofuels of various kinds. I hate to tell you this, but it's quite possible that your idea is already an older idea, that there are folks out there who have been looking into all kinds of vegetable product that might become fuel.
So someone stole my idea before I said it?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I know enough about the biofuel, the excitement about, they're using food now. When we throw away food, there's a whole industry that collects that food and processes it.
That's actually very cool. That's dope.
Way of recycling and so forth. It's like using the corn, which is old. Ethanol is using the corn, both from the United States, Mexico, and other parts of the world, as a fuel, or if not as a fuel by itself, then it becomes an additive. It is something that can allow you to economize on the petroleum and substitute.
We need that. That I think we definitely need, because gas prices are too expensive.
Because how juicers are? Imagine just putting vegetables in your
that's what they're doing
tank, and then then you can also get juice.
This was my thing with the solar panel. I was like, I once had back in the day when we had tax credits for EVs, which by the way was a massive handout to Elon Musk, and it's partly the reason why he's a trillionaire is because he received money for giving American tax breaks. The point is, I had a little smart car that was an EV. That thing cooked. I loved it, and I was like, it would be so great to one day retrofit this with a solar panel, because one day we could power our cars. It makes all the sense in the world. Smart solar. But no one's going to invest in that, because then the gas and oil industry would lose out if you can solar panel your EV yourself, because PG&E loses out. You can't cut out the electric companies, and you can't cut out the oil and gas companies. So,
But I can assure you, there are all over the world, including in China, experiments going on right now. And one of the fantasies of those, you're onto something. So I will, congratulate you. One of the fantasies of those things is that we will all have in our kitchens a little device, stuck in the corner. And when we pull the husk off the corn on the cob, we throw it in there. Instead of putting it in your compost pile, as a good person these days does, you throw everything in there, the peel on your carrots and the pod on your peas and all the rest of it, because it is processed, not waste into soil, but processed into fuel.
Amazing.
Wow.
And then
I love that.
Comes a way either to move your car or to heat your home. In other words, we make the recycling something everybody does from beginning to end.
Well,
someone will find a way to kill that technology, but
no, I think there's how there's lemonade stands with children.
Yes,
I think it's going to be fuel stands.
Yeah.
And they're just going to be like, hey, who wants fuel?
5-cent fuel. And you're like, it's cool. I make better fuel in my home, but thank you so much, cute kid. Here's 5 cents anyway.
By the way, the oil companies, what you're saying, Francesca, you're absolutely right. It's already going on. Trump asked for contributions for his campaign, if you'll remember. He openly asked the oil companies to give him money. They did. And he has paid them back by slowing down the whole transition to electric vehicles and everything, which is allowing the whole world to buy the electric vehicles from China.
Yep.
They're not buying it.
It's allowing the whole world to move on.
It backfired.
The whole world is moving on, and we are that's what I mean. We are going down. All of these are ways of going down. And if we don't do something and recognize it, we're all in a very bad place.
Can I just ask you two more questions? One question about our two biggest trading partners, Canada and Mexico, obviously, making enemies out of them. What has that done to the economy? And I know there is this month a renegotiation of this trilateral, trade agreement between Canada, US, and Mexico. Like what, just break that down for us in terms of how we are bullying kind of our two biggest friends, trading partners.
Well, I mean, you've answered your own question. We are bullying them. Mr. Trump, for reasons that still, I think, belong in the realm of psychology, had to demonstrate to the American people, allow me to do it with you, that the decline of our empire, which he cannot admit, has to be denied, the way he denies it is by pretending that we are a big exploding empire.
Right.
We're going to snatch Panama. We're going to grab Greenland. We're going to make Canada a 51st state. He can't do any of those things. But he can blather about it, and it looks like he's an imperialist. He's expanding the colony. He's threatening now. He threatened Colombia. He's going to do something in Colombia. This is all megalomaniac nonsense, but notice it has consequence. He doesn't, he lives in a world where he blathers, and he's done it all his life. We used to watch him here. I'm sitting in New York City, we used to watch him here locally when he would get drunk or I don't mean literally, but get drunk on his own words and all that.
Right.
So he does that. But in fact, he bullies these countries. And it has consequences. Canadians are not coming to Florida for their vacations the way they once did.
Right.
They're not coming to any part of the United States the way they once did. And Mr. Carney in Canada is looking to reorganize the Canadian economy to China, a huge part, to Europe. The Mexicans are doing it in a different way. They have a brilliant woman leader in that country, and she is able to keep Trump from getting nutty. Carney keeps poking him, and so they hate each other. But the bottom line is, and it'll show up, it's another one of these little things. These were our major partners. They are all looking to do business elsewhere. They don't want to be blindsided by these tariffs. They don't want to be cut out of their markets. They don't want to be dependent on the United States. And this is not going to go away with Mr. Trump. Because they see not just that Mr. Trump does it, but they see that the rest of America lets him. Their Democratic Party hasn't. Why have we not been called into the streets by the Democrats?
Right.
Saying, at least to show the world that there's millions of us who don't want this, who don't need this, who don't support nothing.
Yep.
And so,
I mean, that's just
the leader of another country. Put yourselves in their shoes. You can't trust the United States. You can't. You're being shown week after week how and why you can't. Every company in the world, I assure you of this, every major company in the world is rethinking its strategy now, how to make itself much more independent of the United States than it was before. And we are all going to live with the consequences.
Can I ask you what those consequences look like if we don't actually pull it back? I mean, number one, is there a recession fairy that comes out and rings a gong to let us know when we're actually in a recession? That's a great, easy question. And then number two, what does the economy start to look like if we don't actually invest in people, if we don't, invest in things like, I know they're pulling back on the Chips and Science Act, which Biden, put forward. we have incredible amount of graft and kleptocracy in this administration. So, like, what does that mean for average people? What does that mean for workers? What does that mean for anyone who's sort of aspirationally trying to support a family, own a home, start a business, all of that kind of thing?
Well, let me answer you with a moment of history. We are not the first empire to be born, to rise, to be powerful, to evolve, and then to pass away. The Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Ottoman Empire, the British Empire, all of them. So we were born out of the old British Empire. We were once a colony. We're going to celebrate that in a couple of weeks, right? So we know all of that. Well, let me tell you something that we've learned historically. Every empire, as it peaks and then starts to go down, here's what happens. The people who are rich and powerful in an empire are, because of that, in the best position to hold on to what they have acquired as the ship goes down.
Right.
Which means that the costs of the decline are offloaded, not on them, but on all the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see it? Well, I'll give you a couple of examples. This morning I had to do a statistical presentation, and I got reminded that there are approximately 60 million Americans who are working at an hourly wage job that is earning $15 per hour or less. Okay, let me make sure you all understand. That gets you, if you work 40-hour week and you get paid $15, and remember, the minimum wage of this country, federal minimum wage right now, is $7.25 an hour. Nobody can live on this.
No.
Suppose you get double that. More than double, $15 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
That gets you, do the math, 40 hours, $31,000 a year. 60 million Americans are living on that amount of money.
Damn.
Think about it. I know what I earn. I know what I can guess what you guys do. Try to understand what it means to live. I mean, live, not help with your parents, not a second job. That's it. 40 hours, you get paid. And who are these people? We know them. They're the poorest around us. The fast food workers, the retail clerks that are checking you out at the supermarket. All of that.
But you know, I'm also noticing, Professor, is like a lot of these people that are in these dire straits. That's why companies like Polymarket would be like, "Hey, do you want to like get out of this situation you're in?
Yes,
give us your money." So then people are like, they're so desperate because they're like, I have no other choice. Like, I have to gamble. Because how else am I going to get out of this? Seems like so desolate at this point.
Years ago, but I don't think it's changed. I did a map for for people in the Connecticut State Assembly, the politicians, and here's what they asked me to do. They wanted to know who buys lottery tickets. All right, so I did them a map. One map showed wealth, so there were a lot of blue dots where people were richer, and a lot of white dots where people were poorer. And then I overlaid on that a transparency with the dots, green and yellow, where lottery tickets were born. Uncanny. The lower the income, the more tickets were sold. In the rich neighborhoods, nobody bought lottery tickets.
Right.
Okay. Lottery ticket is a way of going to the poor people and saying, after we've taxed you, we're going to get you again by selling you this ticket. You're never going to get a nickel back, but we're going to get your money, which you can't afford. And the answer of the poor people is, at least when I pay a tax, I just give you the damn money. But if I buy a ticket, I at least for a few hours can enjoy the fantasy of what if I won.
Yeah.
At least that's like, that's like smoking something or drinking something. I'll feel better for a while, and it's worth it to me. I'll have that little
I
ticket.
feel like union organizers should be around where they sell lotto tickets to be like, look, if you paid $5 or $10 in dues every month,
More for you than this ever will.
Exactly. It'll do more for you than this ever will. Professor Richard Wolff, any final thoughts out there? We have a comment saying, Census Gary says, my town in the Rio Grande Valley had a lot of Canadians spending winters here. Trump killed that and our economy is hurting. So just, folks in the chat affirming what you're saying in terms of Canadians not, and people not coming here to vacation. But final thought.
Yeah, the tourist industry in many parts of the country is badly hurt. By the way, not just Canadians.
Yeah.
But all that hostility coming out of Trump when he declares, I won't let these immigrants in from these, African countries or Muslim countries. The message being sent to these people is, we don't want you. We don't like you. You will be abused. You may be, ICE may find you and abusively treat you, blah. And they're not coming. But they're also not coming from Europe and those other places either. They have a sense of bustling hostility. Look, it's again, I hate to beat this horse, but an empire going down is not an attraction. It is something people back away from because they don't want to be, infected by whatever bug is bothering this country. It's not just Canadians.
Right.
I mean, yes, it's the tourism industry. It's the fuel. Canada is a source of enormous oil and gas. That's all going to China. All going to China or Europe. They're redirecting it. Nobody there threw a tariff on them. Nobody there threatens them. Nobody there, nothing.
Yeah.
Why should they stay with an abusive? Look, I hate to use this language, but you don't stay with an abusive partner.
No.
You get out of there. I mean, it's the lesson of all those relationships.
I mean, and I think the last question I have for you before you leave is, we saw the Democrats trying to make this buzzword affordability. They are so scared of talking about inequality and talking about the corporations and the 1% and all this, that they say affordability. But what do you think they should be saying? What kind of, real economic nationalism, not this fake pseudo-economic nationalism that we see from Donald Trump, but sort of, an investment in American workers and industry? Like what should the buzzwords that they should be taking up the mantle of, what do you feel like that looks like as we're going to hit the midterms in November and are truly, this is a party that is deeply rudderless?
Well, I mean, first of all, congratulations. That's the right question. That is the question. I mean that. Einstein taught us the important part is asking the right question. The answer then kind of comes, but it's the question. Anyway, I'm going to answer you historically, and I'm going to take you back 1 century to the 1930s. We had a terrible economic crash. And what happened then is important. In the 1930s, I'll give you an example. 1933, we peaked at 25% unemployment. That is 6 times the current rate of unemployment. So every family in America had somebody unemployed. Every family knew, because there was no unemployment insurance at that point. So whoever in your family, Cousin May or Uncle Harry lost their jobs, they fell on the family to kind of help them out, because otherwise they would stand in line at the local church and get a free supper or something like that. All right. So in the 1930s, we elected a government. Here's what the government did. Number one, it created Social Security. Any person reaching age 65 or older, after a lifetime of working, no matter what you did, would get a check from the government every month for the rest of his or her life. We had never had that before. In the midst of a depression, when the government had no money because we're all out of work, nobody's paying taxes, this enormously expensive program was initiated for people.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the older people who benefited. All the younger people who would have had to share their income with mom and pop as they got older now didn't have to, or at least not on the same scale, because the government was helping them. Number two, unemployment compensation. You lose your job for a few months, maybe a year, maybe even a little bit longer. You're going to get a check. It's not as much as you earned, but it'll help you see you through unemployment. Number three, the first minimum wage ever passed. We never had unemployment and compensation before. We never had minimum wage before. And number four, a federal jobs program that put 15 million Americans off the unemployment into a job that paid and was secure. Okay. Yep. All those things were done by the president at that time under enormous pressure, not just of the Democratic Party, of which he was a part. They didn't do it. It was the unions, the CIO, two Socialist Party and a Communist Party, who were strong in the United States in those years. Okay, they made that happen. And now here comes the punchline. What did the American people do for that president who helped make that happen, Roosevelt? They reelected him 3 times. Mm-hmm. No other president in our history was elected 3 times.
Right. They put term limits. I mean, so reelect Obama is, I think, what you're saying.
Well, the point was, if you want to, when politicians answer folks like us, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what you want to be as popular as Mr. Roosevelt? You want to be reelected 3 times or more? You want to really show that the people want you the way he did? Well, then do something for them.
Yeah.
Instead of coming up with an excuse why you can't.
Absolutely. And I think this is what I think we've been trying to prevent, and what I think the left and yourself have been trying to prevent is, let's not get to the point where there is 25% unemployment. There's destitution. There's, illness. There is, crime, whatever the hell all of that means. We can prevent it by having these positive visions of a welfare state that actually delivers basic things for people. And it's like, nah, let's keep on letting it get bad. Yeah, let's keep on letting it get bad. And so, again, I don't want to be fatalist. I think the left, we tend to get fatalistic about like, oh, well, things have to get really, really, but we have to start, eating each other's, house pets before we do anything like Social Security again. And it's like, I think people like Zoran Mamdani in your lovely city of New York have proven that actually you don't have to let it get too bad before you have some real vision and ideas.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And look, I feel very hopeful. I really do, because people like Mamdani and the woman that now in D.C. who looks like she's going to prevail there, and people like that are coming up everywhere in this country. And it is really remarkable. And thanks to the work people like you are doing, that kind of idea and that way of thinking is growing in the country. And that's the best hope this country has.
Absolutely. Thank you, Professor Richard Wolff. Where can people find you? I'm assuming popular. Oh my God, I'm going to get it wrong. Tell me where people can find you.
Yeah, the easiest way is our website. It's Democracy at Work. That's all one word, democracyatwork.info. Or you can look up Democracy at Work under substack.com, because we have a big program there, and we're active in Twitter and Facebook and all the rest of it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for stopping by.
And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thanks to both of you for all that you are doing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Professor. And please see me in New York. I'm going to be in New York in August doing some shows. Would love to have you come by.
Yeah, go out.
And I'm not going to tear off the tickets.
Take care.
All right. Take care, Professor. And thank you all for being here. By the way, speaking of New York, there are elections today, Paul. They have their primary. It's very critical. You can vote. Polls don't close until 9 p.m. Eastern, y'all. So you got 3 more hours to get your ass down to the polling place. Vote New York. And we're talking Daria Lisa for New York's, I'm going to get this all wrong, 11th. We got Claire Valdez. and we have Brad Lander, and I'm forgetting others, but there is a beautiful slate of democratic socialists, people who do not want to spend any more money in supporting Israel's genocide and other beautiful things and horrible things.
Yeah, I'm against that.
Yeah, we're all against that. Claire Valdez in the 13th, Brad Lander in the 10th, and I think Daria Lisa is in the 11th. So go support them, and make sure you vote. I just want to read some comments, and we'll get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I was gonna say your mic is like China, and mine is like America.
No,
like just in terms of like just such a better product.
No, it's the opposite. Your mic's actually, it might look goofy and green, but it's way better.
Bro, this has like Lincoln Memorial algae.
That's true.
On it.
But it the sound wise, it's doing the job way better. That's a very good mic.
Damn, that's true.
This is a sure. I don't know what that called, but I don't know what that called. Let's see. Moondragon says referring to the reflecting pool as the Green Mile. That's hilarious. Let's see. Cybler says I was a pool operator for 30 years. Never once did we use peroxide to treat an algae bloom. Yeah, you use what is it? Sage. You use white sage and you burn it away.
Dang, that's how you do it?
I don't know. I don't know, but I really wish that this former pool boy, who this is the second reference to a pool boy we've made, who's probably the father of JD Vance's next child, will explain how you actually clean a algae bloom.
Ah, damn, you're wrong. That's hilarious.
No, I want him to explain it. Mike Borfamere says Paul Elia from the first ever episode of Roast Me Season 1, hosted by Teddy Ray.
Rest in peace, Teddy Ray. I love Teddy Ray, man.
Remembering you for all these deep cuts. Not really Rachel Atwood says, is Usha caught in the sunken place and Get Out? Yes. And then also saying, I think AI and Tipper's Florida kiss was more appropriate. Oh, Al and Tipper's Florida kiss was more appropriate. I didn't see their kiss. Ooh, Al and Tipper Gore.
There was a kiss?
I don't know. Maybe it sounds very couth. It sounds like that's how you did it, you know? Let's see. Soul Life said, I want a BYD and I got censored. I was trying to think of a joke for BYD.
But yeah, I kept thinking it too. And I was like, oh man, I was like,
I was thinking PYT, but then BYD, like big yuan deal. I don't know, like
big, huge deal.
Huge deal.
Huge deal, let me tell you.
Moondragon says Paul can call his fuel Soylent Green. That is a sci-fi movie about, I think Charlton Heston's in it, but I've never seen it. Or don't they fuel everything on like poor people on human flesh? I think there's a human flesh element to it.
Oh, okay, cool. But it's not soybeans. So they're not taking my idea that's already being done.
Yeah, no.
All right, cool.
No.
Yeah.
That's Polymarket doing that later.
Oh, shit.
I love this from, I can't read your name, but like XI Wood. 3 gongs is a depression.
Hilarious.
From the Gong Fairy. It is ridiculous that we have a $7.25 minimum wage in the richest country on earth in the history of mankind, the richest country, and that is what we're working with.
Yeah, that's why it's like, why are you trying to make the pool blue? Just leave the pool what
alone.
It is. Give money to your workforce.
Kind of hats off to, the copper or whoever it was, the little JJ, because it's like, it's all about hanging around Mar-a-Lago and selling them on an idea you have to fix something that wasn't broken.
Yes, you don't realize people just worship money.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Whatever I need to do and whoever I need to be and hang around with to get money, I'm just going to do that. Whether they agree with it or not, they're like, yeah, I don't care about that.
No, get your no bid contract, hang out at Mar-a-Lago, drink their awful dirty martinis, which have you seen the martinis that were in Trump's franchises? They're like,
no.
They had a dirty martini in like a straight up, like a big, I don't even know what to call it, maybe a margarita glass, and it was full of like loose blocks of ice in that, what they were calling that a martini.
Loose blocks of ice? Was it like a Drake album promotion?
Yeah, pretty much.
The hell?
Are you listening to the new album? Do we listen? Do we not listen?
I like the new album. I think that it's really great. I think he has some really crazy triple, double entendres, and I love battle rap.
Okay.
I love writing. I love poetry. I love just language in general. So I think Drake has some really good bars in there.
Did you fall off once he was absolutely destroyed by Kendrick? Did you like stop listening for a little bit?
No, I still think he was great. It's like he just lost. It's like just because a UFC fighter gets his ass beat doesn't mean I'm like loser.
Right.
Like Khamzat lost to Sean Strickland, and I wasn't like Khamzat can't fight. Also, Sean Strickland now is like pro-Palestinian.
Right. I should have gotten you on last week's. We've been covering the UFC fight for a while, or the one on the White House lawn.
Yeah.
But we also talked about the history of UFC and how awful Dana White is, and how, like, I'll send you the interview. You can listen to it.
Yeah,
on your long drive home.
I got a long drive home, please.
You guys, Paul Elia, where can people find you? See you live, possibly?
Listen, guys, if you want to follow me, see me live, I'm Paul Elia, ELIA Comedy. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I'm on X. I'm on every platform. Paul Elia, ELIA. If you want to see me live, I got a bunch of dates. If you're in Los Angeles, I'm headlining the Comedy Store main room July 31st. I'm going to be the first Iraqi, first Assyrian, first Chaldean to ever headline the main room at the Comedy Store. It's a really big deal for me. I'm really excited about that. So
what day of the week is that?
That's July 31st. I think that's on Friday.
Friday night, July 31st. Get it.
Yeah, bro. So that's huge. And also I got dates in New York. I'm working on a bunch of other dates. I'm going to be in Detroit. I'm going to be in Austin. I'm going to be in Minnesota, Edmonton, Vancouver. Watch paulelia.com. Go to watchpaulelia.com. .com, and then you click shows. Also, my comedy special, Good Son. Watch my comedy special, Good Son. It's for free on YouTube. I'll put a link to that in the bottom, by the way. I'm not gonna throw this up. Oh, so cute. Go watch the special. I'll put it linked to it and also to your website in all the descriptions. And we're gonna do a little outro we call the fart song to thank all of the people who support this show, even though times are tough and the economy is going to shit. Thank you so much. Thank you to Melissa Wolff. Thank you to Marty Martino. Thank you to Mr. Catan Dude. Thank you to Cordy. Thank you on Substack to Wadishan for upgrading to a paid membership. Appreciate you. You get access to all of our full hot button interviews. And that little fart is for you. Thank you over on YouTube for becoming a member. Shoe Freak Dragon, to Rachel Samuels, to Kay Stevens, to Idiot Wind, to Dia Autumn. Appreciate y'all. Anyone join just now? A ver. No, but that's okay. Over on Twitch, you can also subscribe. Let's see. Kate Elias, thank you for resubscribing. Appreciate you. Oh, Caroline giving me a shout out. That's so sweet. And thank you, of course, to all the people who helped make the show happen, to Paige Omek, to Andy Vasoyan, to Brent Godin. We're streaming Tuesdays and sometimes Thursdays. We do have a Thursday stream this week with Francesca Hong, the other Asian Francesca that is running for governor of Michigan. I'm so excited to have her on the show. She doesn't put an H in her name, and I love her for that. But it's Tuesdays, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, YouTube, Twitch. Follow the show on all the things. Bituation Pod, Bituation Room. Follow me at Franny Fio. And until next time, fight the power, fuck the patriarchy, free Palestine, and don't just bitch about it, be about it. Bye-bye.